Hi there, it's Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make Hannah's Crochet Boho Lines blanket. She uses a couple different stitches in here. This is the extended half double crochet, and these are clusters or puffs, and they're half double crochet. This is 3 together, and this is 5 together. So let me get my yarn together. She has used a version of alpaca that came from Hobby Lobby, and I don't have that with me at my house, and I just have this Peyton's alpaca blend. So it's similar to the yarn she used, but not exactly the yarn she used. So if you like that pink color, please go to the link in our descriptions if you're seeing this on YouTube, and you can get all the pattern details there. Meanwhile, let's create a swatch with the pattern repeat of 10 plus 9. We like to include the pattern repeat with our patterns so that you can make your blanket any size. So again, this is the pattern repeat of 10, which means multiply any number by the number 10 and then add 9. So we'll start in the 3rd chain from the hook with this stitch, and you yarn over just like a regular half double crochet, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over, and instead of pulling through all 3 to complete the half double crochet, you just pull through 1, and then you'll pull through all 3. That just extends the half double crochet a little bit taller. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through just the first loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That is what's called extended half double crochet, and in the pattern we use the symbol XHDC. So if you see that, that's in the pattern. That's what it is going to stand for. Okay, so just work this extended half double crochet in each stitch across the row. Chain 2 and turn. So here's what one row of the extended half double crochet looks like. So I've worked into each chain, and at the end of the row, I'll chain 2 and turn. Now, we also are doing a technique that we've learned is called a wide half double crochet, and it just simply refers to where you place your hook to work the stitch. So we're going to be working in between the posts. So technically, you could call this a wide extended half double crochet. So work the stitch in the same manner, but instead of working into the, underneath the top 2 loops like a regular half double crochet, we're reaching our hook underneath all the loops and in between the 2 posts. So all the way under there. Then work the stitch as normal, just like that. Now in her pattern, she has you work this stitch for 5 rows before you add that row of little puff stripes, those 3 little clusters. But for this video, I'm just going to go to the end of this row, and we're going to work on that puff row right away. So in the pattern, it is 5 rows, but for this demonstration, let's just get to it. All right, before I add in the color, I want to make sure that you know at the end of every row, the final stitch is worked between the last post and the turning chain. This will be true at the end of every row, and that'll help you keep your blanket straight. So I'm just going to work until there's 3 loops on my hook, and then I will grab my new color. I've got some of this. Oops, I haven't cut it from my other sample yet. Okay, so I have the lighter color here, And I'm simply just laying it over the hook, and I pull through with the new color. Then I will start working with this lighter color and do the same thing. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to work 7 of these extended half double crochets, and then we'll work those puff stitches. All right, I have my seven stitches worked here. Now let's work the smaller of those clusters. It's basically a half double crochet, and we're just going to yarn over and do the same thing 3 times. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. There's 1. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. There's 2. 1 last time. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over. There you go. There's 3. So if you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have 7 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all of them. Okay, there's the smaller one. Now in the next post stitch, and I am working in between the posts still, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. There's 1, 2, 3, let's keep going, 4, and here is 5. Okay, quite a bit. Kind of pull that up, twist your hook, and pull those through. There's our big one. Now let's go ahead and work a small one. Don't worry about closing up that loop or anything. We don't want to add a stitch. We kind of want that little cluster to pop out just a touch. 1, 2, 3. Pull through all the way over there. We did it. We got our 3 clusters. Okay, there will be 7 stitches between the next set. Okay, how did you do? I've got my 7 half double or whatever extended half doubles right here, then my next set of puffs, and then you should have 7 to finish out the row. Now we want to pull through with the gold or the other color, but obviously our tail is over here. So we're going to leave ourselves about 6 to 8 inches to weave in later. You're going to cut that off so that then you can start over again and again pull through with your new color on that last step of the stitch. Kind of tighten that down and start again. So you work 5 rows before the next, and then we're going to offset this cluster. So I'm just going to now show you in my sample, because the stitches are the exact same, so you don't need to know that. You just need to know the counting. So here's my sample, and what I was trying to tell you is that now on the next set, you'll work 12, and then this will be stitch 13, 14, and 15. And then you will continue with the pattern across the middle of your blanket with still putting 7 in between the puffs. But when you get to the end of this row, then you'll have just 12 to the end. So we're kind of missing another section here, but keep it definitely 7 when you're working in the middle of the blanket, but for this row, it'll be 12. Okay, this is still the same stitch. And then of course, 5 rows in between. Okay, so now when you're finished with the blanket, say this is your last row, you will chain 2 and turn. And now we are going to work into the tops of the half double crochet, and we will work 1 regular round of half double crochet into each stitch. working 3 half double crochets into each corner. Now I forgot to mention that before you do want to start your border, you want to weave in your ends. So here's my tapestry needle with a blunt tip, and I just simply work the yarn back and forth through several of the stitches of the same color just to disguise that yarn. Since this is a sample, I won't work as many back and forth, but you get the idea. Okay, so here we are. I just worked 3 stitches into the very last stitch of that row. That kind of helps me get around the corner. And now we will work 1 half double crochet at the end of each row. Okay, here we go. I just came back to the very starting corner, and you know I had that chain 2 and I turned, and here's my very first stitch. So I'm going to count that as one of the corner stitches. So I just worked 2 half double crochets, and that's it. Now you don't have to join or anything. Work into this next stitch and work a double crochet, and now work double crochet into each one of your half double crochets. And when you get to the corners, work 3 into the middle of the 3 half double crochets from the row below. So I've returned now and worked 3 double crochets around that very last stitch of the round to make up the corner. Now let's just continue on. So you know that first double crochet that we did right there, you want to pop that forward, work a double crochet. It's called a front post double crochet. And then on the next one, you want to work it to the back. You want to pop it to the back. Work a double crochet. You'll alternate this around the entire blanket. So 1 to the front, run to the back, and I'll show you how I work the corners when we get over to that other corner. So here I am to the 3 that make up the corner, and the first one that was in my pattern, I worked towards the back because I just alternate. So it doesn't matter which way you end up on the corner, just continue the pattern. And then in the middle one, we push it forward. And then this is where it can be a little tricky. We're going to still work around that same post. Come at it, kind of push it to the back, go below that stitch. Work 1 to the back. Now come back to the front of it and work your 3rd one. Kind of down low on that post, and then you get 3. Now when you come back around the next row, this 3rd one, this middle one, will be the one you work 3 around. Okay, so since I ended with 1 forward, now I'll just continue the pattern, work 1 to the back. All right, now continue this around. And I'm just going to tell you, so when you come back around to this other side, again, you will find this middle one, work your 3 around that one, work this one, and then when you come back, just keep popping the front posts to the front. You'll do this for 4 rounds and keep the back to the back, and then that's how you'll get that ribbed look. You want these to look like lines. Then when you come back after the 4th time, you just slip stitch, tie off, and you're done. So thank you for coming by our website to look at this pattern. I hope that that makes sense. And then also come follow us on Instagram or join our Facebook group called the Daisy Farm Crafters if you have any questions about the patterns, Or if you'd like to share what you're making, a lot of people, I think we have almost 15,000 people now in the Daisy Farm Crafter group. And you can get so many different color ideas of the different projects that people have made. So come and join us there. It's a fun, fun group. All right, you have a nice day.